From the Oklahoma newsroom, you're watching The Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell. We're brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. Go online anytime and order your pizza at papajohns.com. Time for 5 and 5, Barry. We've got 5 topics, about a minute each for 5 minutes. Let's get right to it with this one. All right, Russell Westbrook. He's wearing that mask now. So, superhero or villain?
Depends on your area code. Russell's one of those classic guys. He's a little bit like James Harden. Look at how James Harden is viewed. Most people across the NBA look at him a little bit of a villain, a flopper, a guy that kicks LeBron James where you're not supposed to kick a man. So not all that popular. But in Houston, they love him. Where do we know that script? In Oklahoma City, we loved him. Did you see what the Rocket cheerleaders, they came out and did a dance routine the other day wearing beards.
Oh, boy.
So this is, wherever James Harden is, the locals love him. Everybody else, not so much. It's the same with Russell Westbrook. He's a villain. He's aggressive. He's volatile. People say, what's with that guy? But in Oklahoma City, they love him. So he's a superhero here. He's a villain elsewhere.
Is there any chance that the Thunder Girls could do a routine with the masks and the
It's a fabulous
headband?
idea. Now you got a good idea. That's a good idea.
Paging the Thunder Girls, paging the Thunder Girls. Well, yeah, he has definitely got to be looked at as a villain now around the NBA. At this taping, he's on 4 consecutive triple-doubles. Just fantastic run. He's a pain in everybody's side, and now he's wearing the mask and the headband. And, it's really too bad that they have to wear the clear mask. Let's be honest here. What he could have done, and it's just
It'd be
epic.
fantastic. It'd be fantastic.
Come on, Adam Silver, help us out here. All right. What about this one, Barry? What is the bigger wow? Is it OU's blown lead the other night at Ames, or that KU has won their 11th consecutive Big 12 championship?
The bigger wow is the Kansas domination. Here's the truth about the Sooners. We've seen it before. 2 years ago down in Austin, they blow a 22-point lead 7.5 minutes later, what's left in the game. In November, they go to Omaha, have a 17, 18-point lead against Creighton, which, frankly, folks, Creighton's not any good this year. They blow the lead. Creighton wins late. So we've seen this before from the Sooners. It's a troubling trend. Kansas, this is domination like we've not seen. This is like Bud Wilkinson in the 50s with Oklahoma football, with dominating the conference. So, and it's not like the Big 12 is just some podunk conference with nobody else. It's considered the best league in America this year. It's always one of the 2 or 3 best leagues, and yet Kansas wins year after year after year.
I guess we set it up by saying the biggest wow, but I guess depending on where you are, it could be the biggest oh no. Because if you're sitting around here and you're looking at both of these, you might be thinking, wow, Kansas has won again. But Barry, you're right. I mean, let's be honest. Kansas undefeated, no. Unlike you mentioned the Bud Wilkinson era Sooners through a lot of years, but still, to have won the league as consistently as they have. And, look at this team this year, for example. Kansas lost a vast majority of guys that you knew about last year, and you wondered, well, how are they going to put this together? Bill Self saying Perry Ellis is their best player, and I'm not sure I agree, but, a guy that is a decent talent but not a superstar, and yet here they are again. They've won the conference. They've sewn it up before the last games of the regular season. So to have that type of run, you could see 6 or 7 maybe, but 11, and is there anybody that says they won't return next year and make a run at number 12? I don't think so. All right, Barry, what about this one? Finish this sentence. OSU's men get into the NCAA tournament if
they have a selection Sunday. I think Wednesday night sealed it for the Cowboys. I think it's done. Beating TCU lifted them. Here's the truth. Oklahoma State's resume is not stellar. It's not great. They could still lose to West Virginia, lose in the first round, and you'd think this team's not very good. But somebody's got to be in. It's in the rules. 68 teams have to qualify, 34 at large. And, frankly, Oklahoma State's not near the bottom of that list. The Cowboys somewhere in the 20s. So I think even a crash of a finish to the season in Morgantown and Kansas City, I think Cowboys are still in.
Yeah, I think at this point they are in. They're going to finish with at least 8 conference wins in the regular season, which, I'm not sure the selection committee says, well, you have to get to 8 or you have to get to 500. But we have seen the Cowboys themselves got in last year with an 8-10 record in Big 12 play. And I think that what they've done this year I mean, I don't know if you could say they have as many impressive wins. I'd have to go look at it a little closer, but they're no worse. And they're the strength of schedule, the RPI. This league has shown the depth of the league. So I think they're going to get 7 teams at least probably in, and I think OSU is one of those teams. So I think they get in for sure. All right, Barry, let's talk about our fun question of the week. It's a food question. What could be? There's nothing more fun than food. With the cold weather, we got to talk about this. What's your favorite cold weather food, Barry?
Well, I think recent memory comes rules the day. Now, last night we got a little bit snowed in. I didn't go to the Thunder game. I stayed home, watched the Thunder, watched the Cowboys, and so the dish and I, we cooked a pizza, and here's the pizza we cooked. For Valentine's Day, she got me the greatest gift of all time. 4 frozen pizzas sent from Giordano's in Chicago, the deep dish, and it tastes just like the real Giordano's. You get it, you cook it, 45 minutes in your own oven, tastes just like you're sitting there on Michigan Avenue. So we sat there and watched Russell Westbrook and the Thunder having some sausage deep dish with the snowfall, and it was fabulous.
I would argue, though, that that's your favorite food regardless of the temperature outside.
You didn't put any qualifiers on the question.
Very true. Okay, I'm going to go a little more traditional. My favorite cold weather fare has got to be chili and cornbread. But really the secret is the cornbread. The chili, you got to – I don't think you can just sit around and eat a whole thing of cornbread. So I think you got to have some chili. But I really like it for the cornbread.
Well, here's what I would like to do. I would like to have chili and cornbread with you because it sounds like I could get all the chili I want. You can have all the cornbread you want.
We'll trade off. It'll be great. All right, Barry, back to the serious stuff. Last question.
That's pretty serious to me.
Well, that's true. I do like my cornbread. Don't come close if you're around me when I'm eating it. OU's starting quarterback. What OU quarterback starts the season opener for the Sooners?
I think it's Baker Mayfield. I think he fits this offense best. He's played in it to some degree, a similar offense there at Lubbock, his 1 year in 2013. I think Trevor Knight, despite the great game against Alabama, despite a couple of strong performances down the stretch in 2013, his vision of the field is not good enough. He throws the ball to the other team, and it cost the Sooners at a couple of key moments in the 2014 season. I think the Sooners give Baker Mayfield the chance to take over this squad.
Yeah, I think Baker Mayfield is the guy too. But don't sleep on Justice Hansen either, Barry, because, we haven't seen him play a college game. I understand that. But I think Cody Thomas struggled throwing the ball. I'm sure he'll get a chance. He's not playing baseball this spring. I'm sure he's going to get a chance. I'm sure he's going to develop more than he did last spring. So, maybe I shouldn't overlook him either. But Justice Hansen, here's a guy that hasn't had any game experience. I get that, but also hasn't had any game woes. So his slate is pretty clear. They can kind of mold him and see what he's got. I still think Baker Mayfield gets the nod, but it's going to be interesting to see the pecking order. Who do they say is the second team guy? Who do they say is the reserve? I wouldn't be surprised if Justice Hansen maybe doesn't get that nod. We'll see how it goes, but there's 4 guys that are going to be really playing hard to see if they're the guy to start that opener. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.